This is no ordinary store, sightseers. That's kind of creepy. This is something so cool and original. You really got to come check it out. Have we seen all there is to see at Wisconsin's strangest store?
One building left.
I heard Marty say, oh my is right. There's so much stuff in here, I really don't even know where to begin to look. Not your normal type store, for sure. Hey sightseers, Sightseeing Sally here. I'm with
MeanderingMarty.
And today we're checking out one of, if not the, strangest store in all of Wisconsin.
Yep.
And if you don't believe me, pigs will fly.
That's right.
Now if you're wondering, where in the world could you possibly find Wisconsin's strangest store? Well, I'll tell you, it's out in the middle of the country. And it's the great M Shuttle Freight Sales, the original M Shuttle Freight Sales, I must add, because if you watch Meandering Marty, you know we went to M Shuttle Freight Sales' second store. That's right, this strange type of hardware store has two locations, and we are at the original location. Meandering Marty did a video on their second location. If you haven't seen it, I'll link the video for you so you can check it out. But the premise is that you'll never find another hardware store in all of Wisconsin as strange as M Shuttle Freight Sales. I mean, check this out. You've got all kinds of cool stuff, artwork out here that you won't find anywhere else. Like this thing here. What is this exactly? It looks really kind of steampunk. It's got these little portholes that you can look out, or in our case, look through.
Reminds me of Jules Verne's, what was that, 20,000 or 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
I was thinking it was kind of steampunk oriented.
Yeah, that's what Jules Verne is.
Oh, I guess it would have helped if I would have read Jules Verne back in the day.
Well, I didn't read it, I just watched the movie.
So for those who don't know, M Shuttle Freight Sales, I believe, is celebrating its 50th anniversary. This, as I had mentioned before, is the original location where it all started. It originally started as I mentioned, a hardware store, and then quickly morphed into this. And some of these pieces are huge. Take a look at this giraffe. I'd love to have that in my yard. There's also a Suzuki on its side, tilted over by a rhinoceros.
Look at this cactus.
Wouldn't that be cool to have in our yard, Marty?
Yeah.
I don't know about you sightseers, but I've never been to a hardware store that was quite like this. Except for the time that we went over to M Shuttle Freight Sales' sister store for Meandering Marty. Oh, check this out. We've got some elephants over here, baby elephants. Oh, look, it's a tiger that you can ride. He's got a saddle. Check that out. And this giraffe, oh my goodness, he's way up there in the trees. Watch out, Marty, I think there's a lion stalking you on top of that trailer. Look at that. My, what some big teeth you got, Mr. Lion. Now, if you're wondering where you can find Wisconsin's strangest store, at least the mother store, I wanted to call it the mothership, but it's the mother store, it's located outside of Oshkosh off of Highway S. That's S as in Sightseeing Sally. What's going on over here, Marty?
There's a chicken and I think a red fox in there with this guy.
Yeah, unfortunately.
The window is filthy.
Yeah, you can't see in there, but maybe we can see from the other side. It looks like a gypsy wagon, like he's driving a gypsy wagon, or maybe this is Wisconsin's version of a Mr. Haney.
There it is.
Oh, look, we can take a peek inside. Oh, that's kind of creepy.
I think that's a raccoon.
Man.
His jaw is gone.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, at least this is what we were told at the sister store, is that all the art pieces were for sale. Meaning, even if you didn't see a price tag on them, you know, you can negotiate and perhaps bring one of these spectacular pieces home. I mean, who wouldn't want a gigantuous moose hanging out in their front yard? Look at that thing. It is huge. And then behind that, you've got a bear with little short arms. I'm sorry, Mr. Bear, but you've got like T-Rex arms going on here. And then there's a Pegasus rearing up on its hind legs. I mean, come on. Who wouldn't want something like that in their yard? And even if that's not the case, if you can't purchase one of these cool statues, you can come out here and take a look. According to their sign, they're open daily from 9 to 5:30, Saturdays 9 to 5, and even if you're busy and can't get out here during the week, they do have one day on the weekends that they're open. This is something so cool and original, you really got to come check it out. It is a really neat store. And when I say store, I mean that rather loosely, because this is no ordinary store, sightseers. On the back side here, you can see it says freight sales. How much you want to make a bet that it says M Shuttle on the other side? Do I got any takers? Come on, you know, the odds are what? 2 to 1 in my favor? Now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Can I get a drum roll, please? Yep. Oh! I guess I get a big wah, 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 wah on that because it doesn't say M Shuttle. It just says freight sales. Boy, I would have lost big on that if I would have really bet. Fortunately, I know my limits and I don't bet too often on anything. But if you look on top of the truck, you're gonna see some cool statues. You've got one that kind of reminds me of King Kong, although it is a bit small to be considered King Kong. And then you've got this guy here holding some sort of scroll. Marty, what do you think that scroll is in that guy's hands all about? What's his story?
Him?
Yeah, what are you gonna call him?
Pico's Pete with his double-barrel shotgun.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, it's a shotgun or a blunderbuss. And next to Pico's Pete, it's King Kong's son. King Kong's on the building in the back.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's huge. You'll see him.
I guess I would get a double wah 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 for that because totally misidentified the objects on top of the truck.
That's what I'm here to keep the record straight.
That you are, Marty. That you are. Meandering Marty. I always forget to add in that little bit. Check this out over here. You've got a miniature Arctic cat snowmobile. That thing is like baby size.
It's a kitty cat. I had one of them.
When you were a kid?
No, probably a year or two before I met you, I sold it. I played with it the 10 minutes and had fun with it and then sold it.
Well, I guess I learned something new, sightseers. I didn't know that there was a kitty cat, Arctic cat. What is it that caught your eye over here, Marty?
This here is Snow Runner made by Chrysler. It's more or less a snow moped.
Oh, that's
side,
cool.
You can see the ski on the front and it has a small track hanging out the back there.
Oh, wow. That looks like a lot of fun, Marty. And then back over here, there's a mini bike. Look at how small that is. And then you got to check out one of my favorites over here. It's like a double motorcycle. You've got the main big old cycle here, and then up on top is a mini bike. And then you've got this guy here who's been waiting a long time to go for a ride. So you want to tell me what it's like being at the strangest store in Wisconsin? I don't think he's got any words to describe it, sightseers. Moving on, over here we can see something that looks like it appears on the pages of a Burning Man festival. Before we go up closer and check it out, I gotta point out little boy Blue standing with his musket. And then we've got your old-fashioned hair dryer. We saw one of those in an old building down in Texas at a ghost town known as Shafter. You probably, if you've been following along for a while, you probably might even remember that video. Now, it looks like if we open the door, we can get a bird's eye view of the inside of this trailer. Check this out. This is probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen outside of Burning Man. Wait, have I been to Burning Man before? No, I have not, but I have seen pictures. And this totally reminds me of something you would see there, a la Wisconsin style, because it's got all the old taxidermy stuffed animals that you would find up here in the Northwoods of Wisconsin. I mean, look, you got your old bear rug, a stuffed owl, something that I think appears to be a stuffed eagle, and then you've got, way in the back of this thing, what appears to be a stuffed boar head or wild pig. Not to mention your raccoon skin, and I believe that might be a coyote skin right there. Wow, can you imagine rolling around with this thing, living out of it? There's your upper bunk where you'd sleep. And then of course you got your living quarters here, your stove for cooking, and the only thing that's missing is a privy. But you know, when you're out traveling out in the wilderness, I guess you can just always use the great outdoors. All right, well, let's move on. There's a lot more to see here in Wisconsin's strangest ever hardware store. Oh wait, can't neglect taking a look at this crusty, spooky looking thing. I'm not really sure what that is in there. For all I know, it might be the original beast of Bray Road. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. Now here's something you won't find anywhere else, or at least not at your typical hardware store. It's an old Pepsi-Cola cooler, the kind that you would insert coins into right here. Depending on how much they were charging, either they could have been charging 5, 10, or 15 cents or some combination of that. And then you put your money in there and open up and get your drink out of there. How cool is that? And then over here we've got a Coca-Cola one, the competitor, sitting right here.
Check out this old washer.
How does that work, Marty?
Put your clothes in there, that's where it washes it, then you put them in there and it wrings them out. Still have to hang them up to dry, but it spins so fast all the water comes out of the clothes.
I like that they've got all these miniature go-karts, mini bikes.
VW Bug.
Yeah, VW Bug. That's like stuff I remember from the 80s, even though I personally didn't get to play on stuff like that. I know people who did, and I believe Marty was one of them. There's a lot of cool stuff here. I just want to point out real quick, in this area, you'll see Yogi Bear on top of that trailer. And then you've got, I believe, Pinocchio back here hanging out with, oh, I'd like to say that is a squirrel or chipmunk back there. And then you've got the old naked art. You know what they say, one man's junk is another man's treasure. And although some of these items look a little worse for wear, they are, when taken in context of the whole thing, they are really cool. Oh, Marty, is that a building we can go in?
Yeah.
Who's that standing by you?
You remember Land of the Lost years ago?
Yes.
You remember their pet monkey or Chaka? That's
Yeah,
what this looks like.
yeah, that looks exactly like Chaka.
But he's too big. Chaka
Yeah.
was littler.
Yeah, Chaka was probably about 3 feet tall. And then you got a burglar alarm back here.
In case you want to burgle the place.
I'm not gonna say what came to mind, Marty. I think you know what joke I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Now, that could cause some nightmares. Imagine.
That's the stuff you buy when you have kids and then you put it in their room at night and then they wake up seeing that. That's why I don't have kids.
I was gonna say, it's really a good thing you never had kids, Marty, because I think there'd be some going into therapy after that.
I need therapy.
Yeah. As you can see, just like the other store, this really is, you know, a furniture, well, not furniture, more like a hardware kind of home store.
I also seen they got cabinets and stuff like that. You know, they got budget cabinets and they got good quality ones here too. And some of the prices that I've seen, are pretty good deal.
Oh look, there's Dracula hanging out. Here's something else that could be the source of nightmares for some people. Do you recognize what that is? I remember way back when going to like one of my first dental appointments and sitting in something similar. The color scheme in our dentist's office was like this mint green or turquoise color. That's what I remember. And moving on. So for you doubting Thomases who were thinking that perhaps I was making this all up about being able to buy some of these statues, well, you got proof right here. You can get this car hop for a great deal of $7.98. And then just to point out that here you can see that they have doors galore. All kinds of doors that you can buy in all different types of sizes. Oh look, Marty wasn't kidding. There is King Kong up on top of that roof, waving at us. Hey King Kong! In addition to all the artwork and the statues, and then of course like the hardware type stuff for your home, they also have trailers here that you can purchase. All kinds of different trailers, enclosed trailers, unenclosed trailers. So really an eclectic assortment of items from which you can purchase and bring home. Over here we've got what I believe would be the kitchen and bath section of the store. That would go inside and check it out. Oh yeah. All kinds of bathroom. Oh, somebody lost their head. Well, look at this, Marty, Meandering Marty. This shower comes with its own official hula girl. Are you checking her out? Busted. Now here's something that is kind of fun for the kids. You get them a Barbie birdhouse. This one I think is like a Tinkerbell birdhouse. That'd be kind of fun to have in your yard if you've got kids. I love these glass buildings. I think it'd be really cool to have one in our yard. This one has Mr. Pig and Mother Goose back there in the corner. Catch up to Marty, see if there's anything fun in these buildings here. Oh look, fire truck, miniature fire truck up there. Is there a stagecoach too? Oh yeah, there's a stagecoach. Oh, and a horse? Oh, there's all kinds of neat stuff if you look up. And windows, for those of you shopping, looking to replace windows, or perhaps you're building a new building, new house. There's your horse that can go in your living room. Back over here we can see a king cobra and another King Kong. This one's climbing the Eiffel Tower. And then you've got a whole collection of old motors here, old boat motors. There's a Sears one here on the end.
That's a lot of misery right here, believe me.
What, the Sears boat motors, or the fact that they're old?
Keeping them running, fixing them, there's a lot of misery there.
Well, this one you can get for the low price of $194. Well, this one's a steal. It's $125 for this one here. Those are cool. We saw a lot of old boat motors when we went to the fishing museum in Hayward so many years ago. I think I ended up taking that video down because there was an why can't I say the word? Anatomically correct, I think is the word I want to use. Anyways, it was a Bigfoot and it had big old between its legs. And back then I was such a small YouTuber that it got flagged by YouTube's system as being inappropriate, and I wasn't able to fight it. I might have had an issue with that and couldn't let it go, obviously. Moving on, over here you can see a group of elephants, a mother elephant and her baby, and I think, no, that's just the shadow back there. So it's just mother elephant and her babies. There's some even really little ones hiding underneath mama. Well, Marty, have we seen all there is to see at Wisconsin's strangest store?
One building left.
All right, well, you lead the way. Which building are we going into? This one over here?
Yep.
With the bear standing by the cactus?
Yep.
I really like these glass buildings with the glass. I think those are so cool. That'd be really cool to have one in our yard, Marty. Put that on the honey-do list, never to get done.
Oh my.
I heard Marty say, oh my. Oh my is right. Can you imagine waking up next to this?
Some people do.
Now this is the type of hardware store that has just about everything under the sun, and then some. You even got Betty Boop here in what appears to be some sort of military uniform, probably getting ready to fly off somewhere. There's so much stuff in here, I really don't even know where to begin to look. Oh, is this guy cool or what? If you're into diving or nautical theme type things, you can see that this is just jam-packed with stuff. They've got dog stuff over here. You got your cheaters. And I mean, these kind of cheaters, not. If you're looking to buy a gift for somebody and you don't know what to buy them, I highly suggest coming here, because where else in the world are you gonna be able to find your best friend? A zombie. You know, I thought the other store, their secondary store, had a lot of stuff, but this store It's just amazing. Over here you got some pink flamingos, Coca-Cola stuff, scarves. I mean, really, in addition to all the statues and stuff, there really is just a lot to see here and browse through. They even have furniture here. I had no idea that they had furniture. Look at this setup. Doesn't this remind you totally of like tropical Floridian vibes? That's what I'm getting. Even though I think when I'm looking at the flowers, they're more like daffodils or something. Up on the back wall, you have an assortment of characters from the, I think she's like a cigarette girl, you know, back in the day when you'd be out and she'd walk around and say, cigarettes, gum. I don't know. It was just one of those things I remember that you'd find in fancy high-end restaurants way back. And then you got your old Western / pirate dude. And then number 19, I think, is Humphrey Bogart, or a statue to look like Humphrey Bogart. And then I'm not sure who the guy next to him in the Texaco outfit is. And then you got a chef, a spaceship right across here. Oh, all kinds of stuff. Like I said, there's just so much to look at. Your eyes don't even know where to settle first. Or at least that's how it is for me. I'm kind of like, where do I look next? Oh, check this out. There's a bellhop, or maybe he's a train conductor, I'm not really sure. And a Kiss the Cook statue up there. To have come up with such a unique and interesting store plan, you really just have to be somebody with a creative mind, because this defies all sorts of convention. Not your normal type store, for sure. Here's something I would have wanted as a kid. This hand-carved horse. Yeah, I know, not practical, but when you're a whole 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, you don't think in those terms. You just think, oh, that would be so cool to play on. Anyways, I think I lost Marty here somewhere in this maze of cool stuff. Okay, sightseers, does this look familiar? Who remembers what town we saw a fry guy exactly like this one? If you know, leave it in the comments. Well, well, well. I had no idea New Glarus even made such a thing. Like I said, lost Marty in the maze of all this cool stuff. All this fun decor. This would be really cool to have a barrel table with some high chairs to sit at. Well, there he is. I thought I lost him. I wonder if you found anything? Any bargains? Well, Marty, did you find anything?
Nope, ready to go.
Yep, I think it's about time. Well, sightseers, if you're ever in the Oshkosh, Wisconsin area, I highly recommend coming out to M Shuttle Freight Sales. There's 2 locations. You've seen them both now. And if you haven't, then you need to check out Meandering Marty's video. Until next time.